this tutorial, I'm using Lily Sugar and Cream cotton yarn. It's a size 4 medium weight. Any cotton yarn would work, and I would actually not recommend this one, but I had it so I had to use it. So I already made one of the bikini top panels. I'm going to show you how to make the other one. This strap is the bottom and the strap with the beads is the top. And for this we're going to be using the trinity stitch, and you're going to want to take the measurement from one side of your boob to the other, and you're going to go ahead and make a chain that is that length. So for me, I did a chain of 20, which measures to 5.5 inches. And you're gonna wanna make your chain in multiples of 2. So as long as it's an even number, you should be fine. Alright, so I finished my chain of 20. Now we're gonna start row 1. In that second stitch from the hook, we're gonna go ahead and do a single crochet. And then in that same stitch that you just did your single crochet, you're gonna put your hook in and you're gonna pull up a loop. Now you should have 2. Then you're gonna go into the next stitch and pull up another loop. And now you should have 3 loops on your hook. And you're gonna go ahead and do that one more time. So you have 4 loops on your hook, and then you're gonna yarn over and you're gonna pull through all 4 loops on your hook. And that's your first trinity stitch. After that, you're just going to chain 1 and you're going to repeat the same thing. So in that same stitch, you're going to put your hook in and pull up a loop, and then you're going to go into the next stitch, put your hook in, pull up a loop. Now you have 3. You're going to do that one more time so that you have 4 loops on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops, and then you're going to chain 1 and again repeat the same thing. And you want to try to keep a loose tension when you do this. I naturally have a tighter tension though, but having a loose tension will definitely make it a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm coming up to the end and I'm just gonna finish and do my last trinity stitch. So after you finish your trinity stitch, you're gonna do 1 single crochet in that same stitch. So you're gonna begin every row and end every row with a single crochet. And then at the end of the row, I'm also gonna chain 1, flip my work to start row 2, and you're gonna do the exact same thing. You're gonna go into that first stitch with a single crochet, and then in that same stitch, you're gonna put your hook in and pull up a loop. Go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then one more stitch, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 4 loops, chain 1, and repeat. And I just added in a closer up clip of me doing the stitch in case you needed a better view, but you're just gonna literally keep repeating that same pattern until you get the desired size, and you want it to be basically a square. So the length and the width should be the same, or pretty close to being the same. Alright, I completed my second panel, and I'm just going to measure them, and they came out to be about 5.5 inches length and width on both sides. Now I'm going to do single crochets along one of the edges to make it more clean, and once I reach that other side, I'm going to go ahead and do my chain for my back strap. I'm coming up to my last stitch on that edge, and as you can see, it's just clean and straight. And I'm gonna go ahead and do my bottom strap chain that ties around my back from that corner. And for me, I did about 100 chains, but you can adjust it and make it to your size. So once I finish my chain, I'm gonna cut the yarn and fasten it off with a knot. And then I'm going to go to the other side of the panel and I'm going to attach my yarn, and I'm going to do that same single crochet edging that I did on the other side of the panel. And I'm going to make sure to count the amount of single crochets that I did on the other side and do the same amount on this side, just so that both sides of the panel are even. Again, I'm coming up to my last stitches on that edge, and this next strap that I'm gonna make is gonna be the top strap, so it's gonna be a little bit different because we're gonna add the beads. So you're just gonna cut some yarn, whatever length that you think is gonna be enough for you to add beads, and then do your top chain. If you don't want to add beads, you can just do your chain like you did the other side, but if you do want to add beads, you'll need beads and a beading needle. I got mine on Amazon. The beading needle is in a V shape, so you're just going to put your yarn in that V, and you can go ahead and twist the needle around to try to make them stay closer together, but mine weren't staying, so I just held them. And then you're just going to put the bead through the needle. Once all the beads are on the needle, you're just going to pull the beads down, and it's going to place them on the yarn. And then again, keep pulling the yarn through the beads until the beads are in place. So I have my beads where I want them, and after that I'm just gonna take my hook and I'm going to do a slip knot on top of the beads to try to keep them in place. I only did one, but I would recommend maybe doing another knot to keep them more secure. I'm chaining about 115 for my top neck strap, but again, you can adjust it to whatever size you need it to be to tie around your neck. So both my panels are done, and I have the top straps on the top and the bottom straps on the bottom, and I'm going to make a chain that's going to go through both edges and then tie in the middle. I chained about 200. I want my bow to be a little bit on the bigger side, so if you don't want it to be that big, you can go ahead and do less chains. And then I'm just gonna get a darning needle, and I'm gonna stick the tail end of my yarn through the hole in the darning needle, and I'm just gonna go back and forth through the loops on the edging that I did. I just finished up one panel, and I'm going to pull the yarn through a little bit just so that you have enough to go through the second panel. And you'll start to see that the cup is starting to take its shape. So again, I'm going to use my darning needle to go in and out of that edge on the second panel. Once that second panel is also complete, you're going to pull the yarn again, and it's going to take the same shape as the first panel, and just try to make them as even as possible. If you don't want as much space in between, just pull the yarn tighter and pull the panels closer together. And then I went ahead and tied my bow. And now I'm going to add beads to the bottom the exact same way that I did to this top strap. You're going to put the yarn through the beading needle V and then just go ahead and slide your beads onto the needle. And once all your beads are on your needle, you're just going to pull that tail end of the yarn through the beads until the beads are at the end of the chain. And I'm going to secure them with some knots. And that's the finished product.